Today we're going to be demoing some real-world HL7 interfaces. We're going to be talking about two different types of interfaces, an outbound HL7 messages and inbound HL7 messages. We're going to do outbound first, and in our outbound scenario, you have a system that produces HL7 messages which need to be delivered to multiple trading partners. A trading partner is whomever you are exchanging HL7 messages with. Now, whether you have one trading partner or 1,000, the same rules and techniques apply. For our outbound interface, we're going to be using our core HL7 viewer, which is to simulate the HL7 messages that are being produced. We're going to use our core HL7 postmaster to distribute HL7 messages to different folder destinations. And we're going to be using our core HL7 TCP/IP sender to deliver the HL7 messages out over TCP/IP to a waiting HL7 listener. Let's get started. All right, so here's our core HL7 viewer. So you see I have 400 HL7 messages loaded into it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick transform script on here to kind of anonymize the data and so that they're all brand new messages. And here we have them. And these are ready to use to start. We're going to be using our core postmaster, shown here, to distribute these 400 messages across these different folder destinations. This is easy. We'll do this. We're just going to export these 400 messages, everything to a folder, to this folder here, which you will see is also here. So there we go. That's done. Don't want to open it here, but I will open it here. There's our 400 messages sitting there waiting to go out. So what we'll do here is we'll just minimize this, and we'll move this over here. And now we're ready to get started. What I'm going to do is start this service for PM Demo 1 so that the postmaster is running. And that's done. Those HL7 messages have been distributed to these different folders. Now, one of the things that we want to look at here is this particular destination. We're going to follow this through by itself, and then we're going to watch them all. The reason I'm saying to look at this one is because this one actually has some matching instructions. So what the postmaster has done here is before it delivered, it had 400 messages to deliver, but we had matching instructions that said only deliver those messages where the patient last name begins with A, B, C, D, E through H to this destination. So in Kawakawa, only A through H patients. Let's take a look. So here is our Kawakawa folder. As you can see, there were 186 HL7 message files created. That means it found 186 messages whose patients' last names began with A through H. So we'll bring this over here. Now, for our outbound interface simulation, we're going to use our HL7 sender. Here we have our Kawakawa outbound. And make sure that it's stopped, and it is, because what we're going to want to do is run this locally. So there's our Kawakawa. We're not going to start it yet because we have to turn on the target listener at 26,312. So we'll leave that here, and for that we're going to use our core HL7 listener. Here's our Kawakawa folder, or Kawakawa A&E. Make sure that's stopped. It is, so we're going to run this locally. There's our Kawakawa. We're going to start this listener. Now what the listener is going to do is receive the messages and drop them into this folder here. And once they're dropped there, they're going to be imported into a Microsoft SQL database. So let's look at that. First, let's open up this folder. So there is that. We can see that it is empty right now. So let's run it, start it. And finally, our core HL7 listener or SQL engine for Kawakawa is also stopped. So let's run this. Running it locally, when we say this, it means just running it in a window by itself and not as a Windows service. So here are our 3 interface simulators, and we're ready to start. So as we watch here, we should see these messages disappear, appear here, and then be imported into there. Let's go. That's done. They're in there, and it's done. The 186 messages have already been sent, received and acknowledged, and imported into our core Microsoft SQL database, which if we come over here, the A11, that's Kawakawa. There's 186 messages in this database. Now let's watch them all, again, for the outbound and inbound interfaces. Now is the part of the video where we're going to concentrate on the second type of interface, inbound HL7 messages. For our scenario here is we need to receive HL7 messages from multiple trading partners that will feed multiple HL7 interfaces. Just like with number 1, even if you only receive from one trading partner, the same rules and techniques apply. For this, we're going to be using our core HL7 listener to receive the HL7 messages and write them out to a folder. And again, our core Microsoft SQL schema engine is going to be processing them. Let's get started. If you remember at the beginning of the video, we had our core HL7 postmaster distribute 400 messages across these different folder destinations. Now, Kawakawa is the only one that actually limited this, so all of these other folders have 400 HL7 messages to deliver. Now for our inbound interface, we're going to be using our core sender to simulate those 400 messages each going out. Now Kawakawa is done because we did that one by hand, and when we start these services, it's going to start going. So here we have our core sender, which is going to simulate sending in messages from all of these different destinations, and we're going to bring them in using our core listener, which is going to simulate receiving HL7 messages. Like before, we're going to drill in on a couple just to watch them go in. One of them we're going to drill in on is this Auckland Women's Health, and the reason is because it runs a script, as a C# script that runs as the messages are coming in. And what that script does is as the messages are coming into here, it redirects the messages to a different folder based on the type of HL7 message. So this will be where the ADT messages go. And our schema engine is going to pick them up from here and import them into a database for ADT messages. And the other one that we're going to take a look at is not in here. It is here. We're going to look at Mataharua Clinic, which runs in Service Instance 5, which is not running. And the reason we're going to do this is just to show that with our core SQL engine, this profile does not pick up messages from a folder. It actually receives HL7 messages directly on port number 3000 over TCP/IP. So for this one, we're going to run it locally. Now all of our services for the Microsoft SQL engine are running, and we're going to run this locally. We're going to go to here and start our listeners services running. And now we're ready to receive. And all that we have left to do to start this whole process in motion is to go to our core sender and click the start button on the services. So now we're ready to start. Our sender is simulating 20 odd outside trading partners sending messages into us, and we'll get it going right now. It's running. There's our 3000 of messages going directly in from Kawakawa. Here's where our Auckland ADT messages are coming in. Those 400 messages to Kawakawa have already been imported. The 400 messages, the ADT messages for Auckland have come in and have been imported successfully. And that is the demo. That's how you run inbound HL7 interfaces. If there are downstream processes that need to work these messages that are in the SQL engine, you have your own processes that do that. If you like this content, consider putting a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions about how this works, put it in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Thanks for watching.